Happy Saturday evening to all you fine folks out there. Tonight, it is August the 27th, 2022, and you're watching live Charlie Platt in the Dirt Road Sports Show on Facebook and YouTube Live. Good to have all of you here tonight on August the 27th, 2022. On this day, this a beautiful day and a rainy day, and we welcome all of you that are watching tonight. Go ahead and let you know that we are in absentia, two of our members tonight. Floyd will not be joining us. He is in San Francisco, California, because Queasel had surgery and will not be able to compete in the international gas siphoning competition this year. Floyd was so generous and took his flight and flew out to San Francisco, California, and will be partaking in the gas siphoning competition in Queasel's place. Remember, Queasel come in second place year before last, only to a man that drives a Mazda Miata and wears a mesh t-shirt and flip-flops. Anyway, let's wish Floyd a great big luck as he's out in San Francisco, California. Also, Charlie has had a relapse, and he's doing okay, but he's had a relapse, and he is not feeling well this evening, and so you be sure to keep Charlie in your prayers. He is doing better. He's out of the hospital. He was on the show last week, and he's doing better, but he's still weak, and he's had somewhat of a relapse, and so let's keep Charlie in his prayers. So, for this week, it is August the 27th, live on Saturday night. You got Queasel and Marvin live in the house to carry on the Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. Don't forget, if you're watching us on Facebook, we need you to do us a favor. Reach over, hit the like button, hit the share button so everybody can know that you're watching Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show, and our broadcast will broadcast live on your page as well. Just hit the like button and share button if you're watching us on Facebook. And we're coming to you live tonight from our studio right here in Enterprise, Georgia, our studio from Destinations Unknown, Georgia. We're live all across the great United States of America and in foreign countries where it is not illegal to broadcast our show. Also coming to you live in Baker County, Georgia, the great state of Baker. We are live and in color. And ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to want to catch us on the rerun this week, we will be immediately following Thursday night at 9 o'clock, the FBI and the Department of Justice play-by-play of the Mar-a-Lago raid. So if you want to catch that, be sure to do that on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. And ladies and gentlemen, live tonight, we're on the big screen. The big screen, very first time ever on the big screen at Frank's. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Keep talking.
I just heard some background noise. I didn't know what.
Go ahead.
What's all that noise?
That's Ghost.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right.
You ain't living right.
Live on a brand new big screen. Brand new big screen tonight. We're live at Frank's Fish House. Fiddle restringing, fig preserves, feet trimming, facelifts, and falafel eatery in Floydtown, Georgia. Floydtown, Georgia. We're glad to have Frank joining us as a brand new sponsor this week. Frank's Fish House, fiddle restringing, fig preserves, feet trimming, facelifts, and falafel eatery in the big city of Floydtown, Georgia. And we want to give a big shout out to Frank and tell him how much we appreciate him broadcasting live on the big screen. Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. Hope all of you have had a great week this week. Hope everybody's had a good week and no problems, major problems that is. Hope everybody's getting a little bit of rain. I want to go ahead and ask you off the bat here. I know rain's been around prevalent today, so if y'all will put us in some rain reports and where the rain report's coming from, we would love to know how much rain we've had in the tri-state area. So if you'll just put where you're from and how much rain you had today, that way we can kind of share that around and let everybody know what kind of rain has been going on. Queasel, how's everything going your way?
Man, it's finer than frog hair. I'm telling you, Marvin, everything is good. Everything is good. Come back. Had me and Chief Holt, we wandered up to the campground up there. We've been camping a little bit the last week up there, camping and eating. We eat good. We had I don't want to tell you what all we ate, because if we do, we won't be able to go nobody. Everybody will be wanting to go with us. But we ate everything from chili dogs to let's see, I think we might have even had a steak. I ain't sure. plenty of fish, caught plenty of fish, had a good time, fished in the rain. Now, there was some storms up there we didn't fish in. I ain't going to fish in no lightning now. Now, you can get out there if you want to, but when it comes to lightning, Queasel is hunting the hill. I ain't going to stay out there around no lightning, but we did make it, had a really, really good time. And glad to go. Glad to be back home. Glad to be on the show tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how me and you can handle this thing. That's it. My wife said it'd be worth somebody tuning in just seeing how me and you going to make it work. So,
how we going to keep it going? Well,
yeah.
I think we're going to depend a lot on our audience tonight to help us keep it in between the ditches, since Floyd is in Sacramento, California, or San Francisco, California,
Yeah.
and Charlie has had a relapse.
Well, let me ask you this question about Floyd now, because I was talking to him, and if he going to accept that invitation from Nancy Pelosi to eat ice cream with her out there in while he's in San Francisco, did he ever decide?
I don't know. It's still up for debate. He had got the invitation to come, and what they were going to do is they were going to eat ice cream, and then I'm sure that her husband, Paul Pelosi, would offer him a drink of scotch after they had ice cream. But I don't know if he's going to accept it. I kind of doubt it. I think he might enter the competition and try to bring back the trophy to, try to protect your honor. But I do not see him having ice cream and scotch with the Pelosi's while he's out there.
Well, I don't think so either. He did mention something about her husband had mentioned going on a tour of a winery out there, and he said he didn't know. But that gas siphoning contest, you got to get your mind right to go do that. Because I'm assuming old Fishnet kid gonna be back out there. And,
yeah, he's got to defend it. But no, you were wrong about that. Paul Pelosi will not be taking, if Floyd goes, they will not be going on a tour of a winery. They might go on a tour of a distillery, but they will not go on a tour.
He's above a winery.
Yeah. What is it? Wine is fine, but liquor's quicker. That's old Paul's philosophy.
Well, could be.
We get rain reports, Queasel all over. Just had one text said they had not enough to settle the dust just across the Florida line from Chattahoochee State Park, but it rained all around. Mr. Arthur Sheffield said he got 2 inches in Baker County. Dr. Grice said he had enough rain to touch a frog's belly. And somebody had a frog strangler, Melissa Tillery. So we've had rain all around us today. I know at one time today we were eating supper about 5:30, and we were under like a flood watch. There was rain everywhere. Well,
I got a question. It didn't come in over the air, but it got asked to me this afternoon, and I told him I didn't have the answer. I didn't know. I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let Marvin, we're going to throw it out to the viewers, and we're going to see what they say. If you and your wife are riding down the road and you run out of gas, and you give her the gas can and have her walking back down the road to the gas station to get some gas, they want to know, is it impolite to ask her to bring back beer? If she's going to get, gas, would it be impolite to ask your wife to bring back beer on her way back? I told him I didn't know. I drank beer, so I didn't know whether it be impolite or not.
I mean, now, like me, me, if we ran out of gas, now I wouldn't ask for beer, but I would ask her to bring me one of them 40-ounce Slurpees. I mean, I could see that. Me saying, hey, Chug, why you going? Why you got the gas can? Here's $2 extra. Get me one of them 40-ounce orange flavored Slurpees.
Well, I mean, they're gonna be in the store.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be hot sitting there in the car without no air conditioning and all that by the time they get back. And depending on how far to go is how long you're gonna have to wait. I don't know where it would be impolite or not. I do know this.
Yeah.
I know that if it's me, I'm not asking my wife to bring me anything back. I'm just going to be happy if she go get the gas. That's just kind of the way I'm looking at it. But we can see what our viewers think. We can think that see if they think it would be impolite. I just
All right.
don't
So
know.
if you're watching tonight and you could, I mean, several of you've already posted in on here. If you sent your wife for gas, would you also ask her to bring you back something to drink?
While
That
she's
is,
walking with a gas can now.
while she's walking with the gas can to bring gas back to the automobile, how many of you would ask your wife to go get the gas and bring you something back to drink? That's what we want to pose as a question tonight to our audience to kind of see what your reaction to that would be, and what how that would be. Let's see, man, we got somebody just sent me a text right here, watching from St. Augustine, Florida, all the way. We reaching all the way to the east. That would be the east coast of Florida, St. Augustine, coming in live and
I
strong
wonder
there.
if it's still raining down there.
Yeah,
because they're supposed to be racing in Daytona tonight, and it was raining.
Yep.
So
Dr. Grice said no beer, but a large slurpee and a moon pie be what he'd ask his wife to bring back, or his significant other, or whoever.
Braver than I am.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I don't think I would.
Melissa Tillery said it depends on how heavy the gas chug is. I guess that's another good one there. Yep. Welcome, Jordan Rowland from Flamingo Boulevard. I see you there. Let's see here. We had one text in. No, because she's probably out of money having to buy gas. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. You might not have any money left to buy beer, gas. Or beer or something to drink or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who said that. That's pretty good.
I see something about just a look on her face would probably answer that question. That's a good point right there. Most of the time we don't have to have a verbal answer when we ask questions, or if we have done something that they don't agree with, we don't really have to have a verbal communication. It's that eye to eye contact that
that's right.
Kind of gets it. That's the way it is at my house.
Oh yeah.
To kind of get that back. Well, I just was wondering. I didn't know how to answer that question. I had a fellow ask me that.
Yeah, that's a real good question. Got to get a lot of good feedback from our viewers there.
I
think that's a pretty good idea there, and I like the one about probably out of money. All she can afford to do would be buy gas. There wouldn't be anything left for beer, Slurpee, or coffee, or anything.
Well, ain't none of us gonna have no money. We too busy paying the college debt for these folks that can't pay it. Joe done gave all the money away, and
it's funny you mention that. Here's one. Listen to this one. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Former professional basketball coach and NBA analyst Stan Van Gundy. He was the head coach of the Orlando Magic and Detroit Pistons.
Uh-huh.
He said he posted a meme and he compared President Biden's student loan handout, the same thing as Jesus multiplying the loaves and fishes at the day he fed the 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's no lie.
Who'd you say that was? Said that?
It was the former head coach of the Orlando Magic and Detroit Pistons.
Well, if he lives in Orlando, he's used to hot weather. That'd be all right. He'll be at home.
But he compared the student loan handout to Jesus Christ multiplication of the loaves and fishes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it.
You do understand that's a word called that is called sacrilegious. That is called what else is it called? It's almost blasphemous.
It's close.
Yeah,
it's a lot closer than I would want to be.
Yeah.
People they keep forgetting that there is a cannibal side to living in life as well. They keep forgetting that, and one day it's going to be too late to remember. But some of these people, I was looking at the people that was holding up the signs and do all this and do all that, and you might be one that wanted your debt relieved, and I understand that. I'm kind of on the other side of the fence. I worked to get rid of mine and paid it back, but I just kind of if you read the news on your phone, you can zoom it in and see, bigger pictures. And I kind of just was scanning the crowd of the pictures that I could see in this video that was on this news clip. And I would say that 9.5 out of 10 of the people I looked at ain't never hit a lick at a stick. I mean, I'm just saying they ain't never, but yet they want that for free. And here's the thing: I was looking a little bit later today to find out that the majority of the people who are working and fall in the class of income that most of us down here are around are going to pay the way it looks. We're going to pay the majority of that money back, and it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be a pretty high number that's going to be added on. But the president won't answer. The White House won't answer. Nobody will tell where this money is coming from. So I guess we just wait to either see if Santa Claus brings it at Christmas or if the Easter Bunny brings it at Easter. Other than that, I can tell you who's going to pay for it. The ones us that's working for a living.
Well, I can tell you, I had a conversation with a gentleman this week about it, and here was his theory. He said that they're hiring those 87,000 IRS agents to come pick clean people like us, middle-class people in America. He's coming. They're going to send them to pick clean. They want all of the taxes they can get. They want the retirement plans. They want everything. And that's how they're going to pay for it. I can tell you how they're going to pay for it. The American people's wallet. And it is not going to be the big corporations. They can tell that to somebody else. They can sing that story to somebody that might believe it. It's going to be on the backs of the working middle class people in America to absorb the cost of it. That's what it's going to do. And we're going to saddle our children's children with debt.
Yeah, because we can't afford that lawyer. We can't afford them big lawyers that they all gonna hire. They come in and go to talking about putting us in the chain gang, and then we're gonna do what we got to do to settle and pay up. I mean, that's just the way we are. That's the way we was raised. We were raised to pay our debts. The ones of us, the folks that's watching the show with us, we were raised to work for a living, to pay our debt, to do what's right, and that's what we do. But they're going to take advantage of it. I wish that there was something that we could do, but sometimes I wonder if we hadn't let it get too far. But I can tell you this: I'm gonna go down swinging. They might take everything I got, but I'm gonna go down swinging. I don't understand how the electoral system in the United States of America works anymore. Because when I went to school, I understood it. I paid attention. I learned it in college, and it was the same thing that was in school. And we got a man that's president that I ain't found one soul that will admit they voted for it. So I don't know how he got to be the president. He didn't get any votes, or nobody that I've talked to that has admitted that he voted for him, and he has given away everything we got to the people that ain't gonna hit a lick of the stick and gonna sit back and keep demanding more and more and more out of the ones that's working. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Yep. I really don't.
Well, I don't know, but it's where we are, and it's the reality of things. And here's the thing: I'm afraid that it could get a whole lot worse before it gets any better. Here's another piece. I want to throw this one out to you. Don't know if you know this or not. This was posted on July the 14th. This is in our great state of Georgia that we live in. Presently, as of June 30th, Brian Kemp had raised $31.5 million. Stacey Abrams had raised $49.6 million. But listen to this. This is where the numbers really get interesting. Out of the $31.5 million that Brian Kemp has raised, $26.2 million of that, a vast majority of it, has come from Georgia. Okay. Right. You ready for this? Stacey Abrams has raised almost another 19 million on top of his. Okay, you heard me there. 26 million for Brian Kemp that was raised in Georgia. Guess how much Stacey Abrams has had raised in Georgia? $7 million out of 50 million. Brian Kemp has had almost 80% of all of his funds raised in Georgia, and she has had 20% raised in Georgia. Do you know where the largest donations come from? She's raised $10.2 million from the state of California, 6.7 from unitemized, 3 million from New York, 2.5 million from Delaware, and $6.5 million from the District of Columbia.
Well, if them people love her that much, y'all just move out there. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's people. I was reading today about how she fired up all these voters up there in Columbus. Man, she said it's time to do it. Let's get it done. And here's the thing. It's scary, but it's possible in Georgia. I sure hope that she don't win. Because if she does, we're gonna be just like California. We're gonna be just like New York. We're gonna be just like all the rest of these liberal states. Because she is just as liberal as she can be. She can't stand. They've already proved to where she is the chair of one of these organizations that wants to defund the police. She says she's not, but they proved that she has. And people need to get out and vote. Not only in Georgia, but in these other states. They need to get out and vote. The conservatives have got to vote. The Christian conservative people have got to vote. I was reading a book, and I taught a lesson out of it last Sunday. We filled in a gap till we started a new book from Phil Robertson. And it was talking about political correctness. And he said the only way that we can have political correctness in today's society in the United States is to elect godly men and women to these leadership positions. And that's the only way we're going to have it. But we first got to get godly men and women that'll go run. Nobody wants to get out there and run and to be attacked and all this kind of stuff. But that's the price you're going to have to pay to get anything done. We have sat back and let this stuff go on and on and on and turn to look the other way long enough. It's time to fight, time to put it up. And get it going. So we are fighting for our life in Georgia right now, whether you realize it or not. We are fighting for our life.
Let me correct that. 14.2% of her fundraising has come from Georgia. Now, can I say this? I mean, this ought to be the greatest political ad right here going on. Brian Kemp, almost 80% of his fundraising has occurred inside the state of Georgia. 85% of her fundraising has come from liberal states and liberal causes outside of the great state of Georgia. And yet, and still, I mean, what that speaks to me, Queasel, is this. I mean, more people outside of the state of Georgia want her to be governor than inside of the state of Georgia, and they're going to do all they can to spend all the money they can to try to control this state that we live in. They don't even live here.
That's exactly right.
State.
Georgia, there's a bullseye on Georgia. There's a bullseye on it. If they want Georgia, then they feel like they can get the rest of the South. But we're the target state, and but she bought and paid for it. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say, I really like what Matt Bracewell just put on here. He said, I'm about as pro-Trump as you can get, but the folks in Georgia that hate Kemp better realize there's no comparison when you look at who he's up against. Listen, I understand there may have been things that happened during the presidential election that you did not like, that maybe Kemp, you didn't like how Kemp was. Let me say this, and let me say this very, very clear. You may get mad with me, and you may cut the TV off after I say this, but if you care for the great state of Georgia and you love the state as we know it, you better put aside your feelings, you better put aside your preconceived notions, and you better support the candidate that loves the state of Georgia, Brian Kemp.
Yeah, he's a godly man. He's a good man. I've known him a long time, way before he was governor, and he's who he is. Let me tell you something. Being governor has not changed Brian Kemp. I've known him through the dealings I've had in the fire service that I've been blessed to be able to have over the years. None of that's changed him. He's still the man that he's always been. He believes in the Lord. He believes in family. Just be around him a little while. You've seen it. You've seen it. He believes in his family. He believes in the Christian family values that we believe in, and he is going to fight and do everything he can for us to keep it. He's going to help us keep our guns. He's going to make sure that our small businesses are opening up. He's going to make sure that are going to stay open. I saw the other day where he's giving more and more money to instead of trying to defund law enforcement, he's giving money to law enforcement. And you know, if it wasn't for his stance for law enforcement and his support for public safety, I don't know where we'd be, because the big cities in Georgia, they don't want law enforcement. But look at the crime rate in our cities. Look at Atlanta. Look at Savannah. Look at Columbus. Look at the crime rates. You ain't got to go all over the United States. Just go right here in Georgia. And here's the scary part. It's spreading. It's coming to South Georgia. It's coming to South Alabama and North Florida. You know, we're seeing it in the rural areas that we didn't ever think that we could see it. You know, I can remember many times people saying, "Well, it won't nothing like that ever happen here." Watch it. You know, it's scary, but there's these crooks know that there's no accountability. They do something, they're gonna get out, and we got to have somebody that's going to fight for us. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. And I can only speak. I'm sure Alabama and Florida have got the same thing. And I apologize for not being able to be knowledgeable on this. I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna say Florida. I absolutely love Florida's governor. Now you can believe I like that man. But Georgia lost a lot of good conservative votes in the Senate and in the House this year due to it being an election year. People that pulled out to run. So you know, we got seats to fill. We got voids that we got to fill. So this is a big year. Big year for Georgia. And
listen, I want to make this statement. I mean, I don't know Stacey Abrams personally. I have, you know, I'm not bashing her personally. I just know the platform that she has taken a stand for, and it does not align with the set of values that I feel are important to be a Georgian, to be an American. I want to play this real quick clip for you tonight. This was very recent at a church, I believe, in Stockbridge, Georgia. And this is the Democratic candidate for governor speaking from the pulpit or from the floor of a church about abortion. Listen.
I am the daughter of two pastors. I have a strong moral core. I was trained to read and understand the Bible, and I will tell you this. There is nothing about the decision to eliminate access to abortion care that is grounded in anything other than cruelty and meanness and danger in the state of Georgia. Nothing.
Okay, Queasel, did you just hear what she said?
I heard it.
Cruelty, meanness, and danger were the three words that she used to describe our limitation of abortion in the state of Georgia, and she was anchoring it in the Word of God.
I believe that same Word of God says, "I knew you while you yet were still in the womb." Is that not correct?
Yes, sir. It is very, very, very correct. But I found that video this week. I just had to play it. I mean, it blew my mind. That was from and here's the thing that's even possibly even scarier than that, is that she got a resounding sound of applause when she made the statement from the congregation.
Because it's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
That's why people are rejecting the Bible. They don't want the absolute truth. People want almost the truth. They can't handle the truth. You know, nobody can handle the truth. They want almost the truth. So I disagree. I'm like you. I personally, I have nothing against the lady. I don't know anything about her. But I have plenty against what she stands for.
Yes.
And I disagree with her stance on the Bible, because it says that I knew you while you were yet still in the womb. The God I serve knows you from the first heartbeat. See, and here's the thing that I believe. I believe that when a husband and a wife are blessed with a child, it's absolutely and totally a gift from God. Because when you think about it, your children are the greatest gift God ever gave you. And that's the way I look at it. I don't think, and when God blesses you with a pregnancy, and you're going to have a child, and you decide that it isn't convenient, that you don't want one, or for whatever the reason might be, and you go out and have an abortion, well, you just decided that you knew more than God did. I mean, that's just a simple way I look at it. I'm not saying
people elevate themselves above God when we try to take things in our own hands, and that's the biggest problem I have with the ideology of a lot of the Democratic Party. I have no personal issue. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate any Democrats. I just do not agree with a lot of their policy decisions, and that video I just showed is a prime example from the floor of a church. It really blew my mind. Really, really blew my mind. Guys, it is time right now for us to move into our trivia time. Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show live, Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Southern Hissy Fits. They got embroidery, they got t-shirts, they got tumblers, they got gifts, and they've got a whole lot more. All you got to do is stop by on the corner of the square, the southwest corner of the square in Talkwood, 109 West College Street. And it's time now, Southern Hissy Fit sponsored trivia time on Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. And we want you to be a winner tonight of one of the enamel logo campfire coffee mugs. All you got to do is text your correct answer and your name to 229-254-5060. Again, that's 229-254-5060. We do ask if you have recently won a mug, please give someone else the opportunity. We'd like to spread these mugs around as much as possible. I know that this is kind of just a deal we like to do to get our name out there and kind of get you all involved that are watching the show. And so text your answer and your name, 229-254-5060. All right, Lisa, you ready for tonight's trivia question?
Shoot it to me.
All right, this is a good one now. This is a good one. I don't. It's a hard one, but I know that I know what they'll be doing. They'll be hitting the Google on it. All right, here we go. Here's the question of tonight. Please, I don't even know if you know the answer to this one.
I don't know the answer to half of it.
Who was the very first black performer to ever entertain at the Grand Ole Opry? The very first black entertainer to ever entertain at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. Text your answer, 229-254-5060. I need that correct answer, and I need your name. Correct answer and your name. Do ask if you've recently won. Please give someone else a chance to win. We're looking for the correct answer for who was the very first black performer to ever entertain at the Grand Ole Opry. Now, this goes way back. I'll give you a little hint there. This goes way back. Just got an answer coming in. Charlie Pride, that is not correct, guys. That is not correct. Charlie Pride is not the correct answer. We got it coming in everywhere. Charlie Pride, he's a great one. He was a member of the Grand Ole Opry. Great, great singer. One of my favorite old country music singers, Charlie Pride, but that is not the correct answer. It was before Charlie Pride. Before Charlie Pride. The very first black entertainer to ever entertain at the Grand Ole Opry. This would have been back when the Opry, one of the, maybe first started out or a little bit thereafter. It's trivia time. Southern Hissy Fits trivia time on Charlie Platt, the Dirt Road Sports Show. Text your correct answer, 229-254-5060. We are looking for the very first black entertainer to ever entertain at the Grand Ole Opry. Queasel, I got him coming in left and right with Charlie Pride. I mean, I've had about 6 or 8 with Charlie Pride, and I love me some Charlie Pride now. He was one of my favorite singers. You liked him too, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yes,
man,
sir.
I don't know. I think I got him stumped tonight. I don't have a correct answer. Charlie Pride has been sent in several times, got several here. Lee Scott, I see you say Charlie Pride. He was not the first. He possibly was one of the greatest that ever was on there. I got the correct answer right here. I don't know who this is, but the correct answer is D. Ford Bailey. D. Ford Bailey is the correct answer.
Never
And
heard of him.
I don't know who this is that just sent in the correct answer here. You didn't send me your name here. D. Ford Bailey is the correct answer. That is the correct answer. D. Ford Bailey. No, it's not Ray Charles. Not Ray Charles. Ah, man, here we go. We got a brand new winner, Queasel. Got a brand new winner this week. Not far from the house. I could actually take. Colonel Joe, you were not the first one to send it in. I had one ahead of you. I had the correct answer just ahead of you, Joe Watson. So you were one behind. Mr. Jimmy Holt is the winner of the mug.
Look out, Chief Holt.
He knows his country music. He loves them Statler brothers. That is the winner. D. Ford Bailey. That is him. That is it. Y'all Google him. Look who him. He was back probably in the 40s, maybe in the 40s, somewhere that time. That he was the very first, and it was very, very unusual at that time period. He was the very first black person to ever entertain on the Grand Ole Opry. Give a big shout out to Mr. Jimmy Holt from Mayhaw, Georgia. Mayhaw, Georgia.
We was just sitting around the other night talking about one of them coffee mugs. We sure was, and now he doesn't want him one. I'm telling you what, that's pretty good. That's pretty good deal. Hey, y'all.
Answer. Del Ford Bailey was the correct answer to that. It was not Charlie Pride, even though Charlie Pride did follow back up and he was a member of the Grand Ole Opry. But Del Ford Bailey was the very first African American to ever entertain on the Grand Ole Opry. Hey guys, again, big shout out Southern Hissy Fits, our trivia time here. Congratulations to our winner, Mr. Jimmy Holt. We'll be getting that out to him. Don't forget, each and every week you can have an opportunity right here to win you a campfire mug. We never know what the trivia question will be, but I'm sure you'll have the answer to it. Go ahead, Queasel.
Well, I was just going to tell you, I'm starting me a new adventure.
Uh-huh.
It's Queasel's Business Consulting.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna be consultant. I'll be a consultant for these businesses that anybody that's got a business, anybody wants to start one. And I'm just gonna kind of give them a little taste. You know how you bait people up a little bit with stuff. So I'm gonna give them a little taste tonight of just a little bit. I think one of the biggest problems that an employer has is its employees, the personnel is what I think. That's the biggest issue most anybody fights. And so I've come up with some policies to deal with vacation, sick time, personal days, and that kind of stuff. And so any of you people that's got businesses and wants to do this is free. Ain't gonna cost you a dime. Just write it down. So here's Queasel's policy on sick days. My policy is, as a company, we will no longer accept a doctor's excuse as proof of sickness, because if you are able to go to the doctor, you're able to come to work. So that solves that one.
Yeah,
then on personal days, each employee that works will receive 104 personal days a year. Okay. Each employee gets 104 personal days a year. They call Saturday and Sunday. So that'll solve that. Vacation days. All employees shall take their vacation at the same time every year. Everybody take vacation at the same time. Vacation days will be as follows with no exceptions. January the 1st, Memorial Day, July the 4th, Labor Day, and December the 25th. That will be your vacation days. That's just my first sign of Queasel's, consulting for business. I think that would work. That would solve a lot of the employment issues. Everybody would be treated the same. There would be no question as to what it was. And I think you would see that productivity would pick up because, people would be at work. So
that kind of sounds like something out of the book that was taught at the Joy Tully University of Life's Education.
It pretty much was, except he didn't use the book. He just made it up as he went. But that's exactly the way he looked at it. But he didn't give some of them days. And But hey, that's a good one to have. Listen, I ain't even charging you for it. So if you're interested in Queensville's business consultant, contact Marvin. He'll hook you up, and we'll negotiate a settlement of what it would be for those kind of services.
We can probably give them a like a discount if they heard about it on the show. Hey, listen, we're eating dinner tonight and had a viewer call me. He didn't even text. He just called and wanted us to discuss. And he was supposed to send me the post on Facebook, but supposedly it happened somewhere around Harris County, Georgia. Now I have not validated this, so don't judge me if I'm giving misinformation. I'm sure Facebook will censor us if we are giving misinformation. But supposedly a public school somewhere around Harris County, Georgia, there's a group of kids, and I think they call them furries. They call them furries, but they're self-identifying as cats. And the administration has put kitty litter boxes in the bathroom for them. Now, this is supposed to be a truthful thing. Now, if it is not and somebody made it up, I apologize. We did have a viewer. Furries, there they are. Somebody already knows about it. Furries. But they
now for folk, just slow people like me, say that again. Now, what they gonna do for these people?
All right. They're called furries, and according to Scott Moore, it is a true story. We had a viewer that called in and wanted us to discuss it tonight on the show. And these kids are called furries, and they self-identify as cats, as felines. And so in order to accommodate them, the administration has put kitty litter boxes in the restrooms for them to use.
Surely not in Georgia. Surely not.
Supposedly in Harris County, Georgia. Now, I'm just.
That's right up right next to Columbus. Well, and they hosting the Democratic convention. Yeah, so that might be possible. That could be. I don't know.
Well, the viewer that called.
Well, look at him. If I was to let me ask you this question: if I was to identify as a billionaire, you reckon my boss man would fill my office up with money?
I don't know about all that. I don't know about the viewer did want to know this. He said, "Who are they getting to clean them kitty litter boxes out?" Scott Moore said that the parents acknowledged it as true, but I blame the parents there.
Yeah, if they went on with it.
Tell me this: what would your daddy have done if you'd have come on and said, "Daddy, I'm gonna start identifying as a cat, and I'm gonna need y'all to put a kitty litter box in here for me to use"?
We'd have had time out.
What's the time for you to pick yourself up off the floor?
Time for me to get back up off the floor. Yeah, that'd be time out. Yeah, I mean that don't even make good sense. That don't even make good sense. First of all, I can't believe somebody this a parent would even allow their children to think that way. Do parents not care about their children anymore? My mama and daddy raised me to do what they wanted me to do, not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I didn't, until I guess I got, grown, I didn't have a lot of say-so in what I got to do. I done what they wanted me to do. And I know ain't much to me, but I ain't turned out too bad. And most of the folks I know was raised the same way. But they ain't a doubt. Listen, let me tell you something. There ain't a doubt in my mind. There's two things I know for sure. Jesus loved me, and my mom and daddy loved me, and they raised me. And if I'd have showed up following the rules, I would have been a better fella than I am now. But I got accused of breaking a lot of the rules that but nobody can prove it. But I mean, I got accused of it. But I can't believe that a parent would allow their children to think that way. I just can't.
Unreal. But hey, what about this? What about administrators that accommodate and put a kitty litter box in the bathrooms? Let me ask you this question hypothetically. Let's go back to when Doodle was around, my granddaddy. What would Doodle have said?
You can't talk like
that on the show.
On the show, I can't talk. You know what he would have said. But
Oh man.
Golly, I mean, we laughing, but it ain't funny. It's sickening.
It's the world we're in today, Queasel. We're living in
How
a
did
different world.
how did we get there?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean,
How did we get there? How did we
but
get there?
and hey, here's the thing. I've heard Floyd say it before. It's been a quick jump off the tracks too. I mean, it's come off the tracks and it has and I know there's been a decline, even since the baby boomer generation was around and Woodstock and all that. They go, but every generation has had its own, but it just appears that I don't know, things are so much more far out. I got a young lady that we know that was in the military for a little while. And part of her basic training, there was a girl there, I self-identified as a fairy, and the military recognized it.
So they gave her a wand instead of a rifle?
No, but she would go up somewhere and feed honey and crackers to the fairies or something. I don't know. I didn't understand it. It was beyond me. It's kind of like this kitty litter deal. I mean, I don't. And this is going on with our children, but we are it's being, number one, it's being allowed at home, and then number two, it's being enabled in society.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not arguing the fact that you ain't right. I just don't see how we could get there. I really don't.
Hey, Bush says some people have gone completely crazy. I think that's the good summation for it right there. We have gone. I mean, our whole society's just gone nuts.
Well, let me tell you something. Parents are going to have to go back to raising children. That's what's going to happen. They're going to have to go back to raising their children and teaching them right from wrong. It hadn't been too awful long ago. I was out of town in another town, and I just happened to observe a young couple with a child, and they had absolutely no control over that child. In a great big old store, and matter of fact, I if I remember right, we was in Sam's, and that child was just running rampant, picking up stuff, putting it in the buggy, and when they'd say no, it just keep right on doing it. You know what would have happened to me? My mama would have been running me all over Sam. People in Sam all over Sam be dialing 911 because my mama would have been beating me all over. I can't tell you how many times. I'll never forget. One day up at Bon Wilkins' store, I used to hate to go up there. Her, she'd go over. He had him a thing over where he had sewing patterns. You remember what a sewing pattern is? Young folks don't even know what a sewing pattern is. She'd go over and look for hours in that thing and find somewhere she's gonna sew a dress or something other. And I was over there, and right beside the sewing pattern, there was a little thing that had all these buttons. So I would go over and I commenced to take. They had little cards with them buttons on there. I commenced to taking them buttons off them cards, and when she caught me doing that, good gracious alive, she beat me from one side of Bon Wilkins. Yeah, three different, all through all of them. I didn't take no more cards, no more buttons off the cards. And,
but Bon Wilkins nor any of them that worked in there called defects on her, did they?
Nobody dialed 911. No, nobody called defect because they know I deserved it. And on top of it, see, then she had to turn around and buy the cards, the button off the card, because I just stood there and took them all off. I didn't do that no more. No, I didn't do it no more.
All right, Floyd, I want you to, Floyd, Queasel, I want you to address this. Lindsay Houston said, please revisit the furries conversation when Floyd comes back next week. That might have to be a non-PG rated show if we have him to address the furries situation.
Oh, no. I'm going to say this. I don't blame the children.
Yeah.
I don't blame the children. Somebody needs to take a Peachtree switch to their mom and daddy. That's exactly what needs to happen. I go back to the Andy Griffith story about the woodshed. They need to go to the woodshed. That's the way that looks. But I don't know. I worry about these young parents with children. I worry about them. I worry about ours down here just trying to teach them right from wrong. And, we talk about it like that. Let me tell you something. We should be praying in southwest Georgia, southeast Alabama, northwest Florida. We should be praying for our elected leaders. our school officials. We should pray that we got godly men and women in those positions who will stand against this big city stuff when it comes down here, because some of it's already here, and the rest of it ain't. We are under attack.
Well, let me tell you this. I can tell you that this $10.2 million given to Stacey Abrams from California would want to affirm the furry culture.
Well,
they would want to affirm the furry culture.
Stacey can keep her cats out of Miller County. That's kind of the way I look at it.
And that's the beauty. I think we take for granted that, yes, sometimes we are insulated and our kids are somewhat insulated because of where we live now, because of technology and social media and all of that. People see all of it. But I'm thankful to live in Southwest Georgia, Southeast Alabama, Northwest Florida, in some rural communities and rural areas where godly principles are still practiced. And hopefully, I understand that 100% of the parents probably don't, discipline and raise their children like they should and allow this to happen. But for the most part, I'm thankful to live where we do live. I think we live in one of the greatest places on the face of the planet.
We do. I agree with you, but I don't know. I still having a hard time of seeing how we got there as fast as we have.
Yep.
I mean, it seemed like it was like this. I don't know. I mean, you look back and if you look back now, you can see this unfolding, 10, 20 years ago, but the just the way that it has just sunk in the last, 2 years. And here's the thing, that if anybody was trying to do anything about it, I feel like there's a little bit of hope, but nobody is willing to do anything about it. Nobody.
Well, look at cancel culture. I mean, you try to stand up and do what's right. Even us defending what is right, used to, you would say, people could say, well, I believe it and I stand behind it because the Bible says it. Now that's almost to the point of even being perceived as hate speech, even what the Bible defends.
They just gonna have to classify me as a hate speaker, and all I can tell you. And let me tell you something. You know about how you know how worried I am if you counsel me.
About as worried as I am, yeah.
That's exactly. I'm worried just ever what. Let's see, what would be a good. What is 100 times 0?
0.
That's exactly how worried I am about you canceling me. I do not care.
Yeah. But a lot of people are. I mean, they're worried about, and these kids, that I don't know, man. I'll tell you this. I'll say this, and I really believe this. We as parents, we as Christians, we as church people, we need to be praying for our youngins. We need to be praying for our teenagers. We need to be praying for our children and the world that they're going to have to live in and grow up in, and pray that at least by the Judeo-Christian principles that we hopefully delve into them, that they can go forward and live this life with, some peace and prosperity, rather than what we're some of the stuff that we're experiencing today.
Well, we're to the point now where people trust politics more than they do the Bible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, look at who we got. Look at who's leading our. Look at where we're at. I mean, seriously, look at where we're at. It's I don't know. We ain't got time for me to even get started on what I think about that. But all I can say is, if you voted for him, I hope you happy.
Yep.
And the other thing I can say is, if you voted for him and you willing to admit it, you'd be the first person that I have spoken to who has said that they voted for Joe Biden. I ain't found one living soul that said they voted for Joe Biden. And I don't blame you. If I voted for him, I'd be ashamed of it too. Yeah. That's just my opinion. Yeah. It ain't that's Queasel's thought for the day. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's a good one there. Queasel's thought for today. Well, Queasel, speaking on that, it's hard to believe this, but it's 4 minutes till 9. I know the hour went by quick with just the two of us, but looks like we made it, and we didn't hopefully flub it up too bad without Floyd and Charlie being here. But again, y'all pray for Floyd as he is in Sacramento, San Francisco, that is. Brian Wells wanted to know a while ago if he was siphoning Nancy Pelosi's gas out of her automobile, but I don't think so.
She drives an electric car.
Yeah, she drives an electric
He
car.
go to sucking on that. He like to get his teeth lit up.
Yeah. All right, take us home.
Hey, thank y'all for being with us tonight. Thank y'all for putting up with me and Marvin. Cause we ain't much now. We be the first to admit it. That, you know, Charlie and Floyd. Old Floyd, we know Floyd's a star. Ain't no doubt. We know it. And he ain't here. We didn't get no short stories and no short list. But Floyd is doing his duty. And you know, he went out there and he's standing up where I couldn't go. He's out there doing it. And I'm gonna tell you what, it would surprise me if he comes home with the first place trophy.
Yeah,
So
he may
knows,
not.
yeah, he knows how to siphon some gas. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. And oh, Charlie is Charlie's fighting hard, and we miss him. We need to be praying and keeping Charlie lifted up. Some of that stomach stuff is hard to fight. Let me tell you something. We serve a good God. We serve a healing God. We serve a God that can handle any situation. And all this stuff we've talked about tonight, everything that we talked about, some of it funny, some of it serious. Here's the thing about it. God can handle every bit of it. But what we got to do is quit trying to fix it ourselves and turn it over to Him. You see, I got a buddy that's a preacher up in Warner Robins Warner Robins, Georgia, and his deal is until we completely sell out to God, we won't ever be able to see the power that He's got. And you know, I've recently been through where I had to sell out to it because I couldn't do nothing myself, and that's when you realize His power. And as citizens of the United States, citizens of here in the southeast United States where we are, we need to pray. We need to go to church. We need to support our churches. We need to pray. Marvin's going to hit you up about that in a moment. But I want to add one little thing to what Marvin said, and then I'm going to turn it over to him. Let me tell you something. If you're already going to church and do it, let me give you a little bit. Why don't you find you a Sunday school class? Man, a good Sunday school class. You can't beat a good Sunday school because in church you listen to the preacher and he's feeding you and filling you with the word and the spirit. But when you're in a Sunday school class in that small group setting, you're there where you can add your opinions. You can talk to other people, add their opinions, and ask them questions, and it's just so good. So there's so many good churches in the tri-state area that you can go. And this is what we're gonna have to do. And, you know, I think about at church, our preacher's been preaching about, you know, when it don't look like there's no hope. He's been preaching about Jonah. He's been preaching how Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh, didn't want to because of the people there. And you know, God had plans. Listen to me now. God had planned to destroy Nineveh. He was going to just wipe it off the map. But He got Jonah to go there. Jonah preached, and he changed his mind, and he saved it. You know what? It's not too late for God to change His mind and save it. I believe we headed on a road to destruction. But I believe if the godly men and women in this country get to praying, I don't think there's nothing that can stand up against prayer. I don't think nothing can stop it. I don't think the enemy can stop it. I don't think anything can stop it. So I challenge you. Let's pray for our nation. Let's pray for our leaders. Let's pray for the president. We don't agree with what he's doing, but let's pray for him. Let's pray that God will lead him and change the way he does and does things in the right way. Let's pray for our elections that are coming up. Pray that godly men and women get put in there. There's so much that we have. And with all the problems, don't ever forget this. This is still the greatest nation that there is anywhere. I love it. I love all of y'all. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for putting up with me and Marvin. So Marvin, take us to the house.
All right, guys. Thank y'all again for watching us tonight here on Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Live. Don't forget what Queasel said. Tomorrow is Sunday. Go to church. Go to Sunday school. Go get fulfilled and filled full. Go give the Lord His due tomorrow, wherever you are, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Copper Mountain, Colorado, wherever you are. Give the Lord His due tomorrow. Our scripture for today is, the Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. From the book of Psalms. I want to give a big shout out to our winner for the trivia contest brought to us by Southern History Fits, Mr. Jimmy Holt. Don't forget, you'll have an opportunity next week to win another time right here on Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. Guys, keep praying. Keep praying. Hey, 2 Chronicles 7:14, that ought to be our motto. That God
Amen.
will hear our prayer. God will hear our prayer, and he will heal our land if we're willing to do what he tells us to do in 2 Chronicles 7:14. I promise you, he's not done with us. If there's just a remnant left, God can take it and use it and bless in a mighty and abundant way. Reach out to somebody this week. Let them know you love them. Tell them you give them a word of encouragement. Tell them you're praying for them. And guys, we will be right back here next week, same place, same time, hopefully, if the creek don't rise. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And we want you to have a blessed week. Keep looking up, keep a positive attitude, and keep trusting in the Lord. Guys, we love y'all. Have a blessed week, and no matter what now, always, always, always be particular. Good night, y'all.
See y'all.